Hello guys, hope you guys are doing well. I hope the microphone is doing well. Hope you guys can hear me. Let me see here. Just making sure I got everything here. The volume is a little low. Alright, thank you for letting me know. Alright, how about this? Is this better? Do I need to adjust it a little bit more? Hello? Test, test, test. Are you able to hear me? Or not really? Or do I need to increase it? Some static? Are you sure it's not the fireplace? That's better? Right, so as you guys are aware, I will be reading Firestar, which is the third book of the Crystal Lacey's The Fire Within series. Quick recap, I guess, from what we remember reading. We had a student go live with a mom and daughter. I believe he was studying geography. And the mother and child, they were known to make clay dragons. So it all revolved around the clay dragons, the tenants accepting them being around. He became an author, and then he became an author of the first book, which was not accepted in the second book, because he was having troubles to publish it. Oh god. And then Lucy, I believe that was the daughter's name, she made a wish dragon, which now was David's. I believe that was the protagonist's name. And he made a wish that led to a peculiar woman to arrive at their place, and Havoc just arise from one corner to the other. Like I said, it's a recap, so I'm trying to remember before I go into the book, because I think it's been a month now since I finished Icefire. He had to do a geography essay about dragons, so he can join in or win an expedition to the north, or Antarctica or the North Pole, one or the other, where he can observe polar bears. Polar bears seem to be a threat to this woman that arrived at, was it Liz and Lucy's place, which is the mother and daughter. Anyway, things end up well after certain things being resolved and unresolved, and David managed to go to this trip. So I think we are continuing from David now in Firestar, where he's going to be either in the Antarctica or the North Pole, one or the other. Jesus Christ, recaps are difficult. It really is. Bear with. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, I had to quickly adjust something here and there. So we've got a message from the author saying, for Jay, Shelby Kamingo, thank you to everyone who has helped produce and support this book. Team Orchard, thank you. Penny for stepping in so late. Kathy, Hector, Derek and Susan, LWC, Cindy and her staff at Browser's Bookshop, Shelley at Harborough, Merle Renink, and Marshall. They still love the website, mate. Alright. The Fire Within an Ice Fire is also by the author, if you guys haven't read it yet. We've got a quote saying, the lights that shine so softly through our firmament are the patterns involved in unfolding. Pick out a pattern and you have the key to meaning. The means for healing and all the help you need to find the way. Gifts of Unknown Things by Lilo Watson, Hodder and Stoughton Ltd. 1976. Oh boy. Right. Bear with. Right, okay, I've adjusted a couple of things. Let's see. Now, there is also a, whatchamacallit, a poem, I think, or a letter, saying, there is a sign in the heavens, another light in the darkness. I think it's a poem, by the way, guys. There is a sign in the heavens, another light in the darkness. A better time is beginning. There is a fire star coming. I see the mark of the ice bear in the tears of the dragon. And you better start wishing there is a fire star coming. Stay with me, my love. Part 1. Okay, so there is probably two or three parts. This is a thick book, by the way. So let me quickly, without reading inside, let's see how many different parts there are. I think there might be 2 parts, but that's about it, I think. Discussions, chapter. Now, I have not read this one. I think I've started to read this one, but I don't think I've finished at all. I think I just had like maybe 2 or 3 chapters, if I remember correctly. So this is part 2. So I think there's multiple parts. At the moment I see part 1 and part 2. So there might be a 3rd and 4th in here somewhere. I'm going through the titles, I'm not going through any of the content of... Oh. Okay. So there's 4 parts in this book, guys. There's 4 parts. Will I be able to read each part on its own? I am not sure. I can try, but it all depends on my voice, because my voice is not returned just of yet. So I probably will not be able to do any voices at the moment, in regards to like Lucy or Liz, Xana, whatever, the Bacon, Mr. Bacon, I think was his name. I'm not quite sure. So it will be just a standard. I'll try not to do a monotone, but it will be standard reading without voiceovers, like character voice. I will try, but I cannot guarantee it will be good. So there will be moments where I will be also muting if I have to cough or I need to take a drink, because like I said, my voice is not the best at the moment. If you guys are wondering why, about a month ago I was singing to there you go, that's a cough. I was singing to the little hatchling, and I did it without a warm-up, so my voice, my vocal cords, quote unquote, got irritated to the point that I will not be able to talk for about a week. So I'm recovering from that. So I do apologize beforehand. Just a quick disclaimer to everybody. So yeah. Let's see. Alright, so part 1, the shooting. Boom, boom, boom. Ingevar's paws thumped loud against the ice as he fled from the drones of engines, high above. His chest was on fire, his stout legs ached. He'd been running for almost as long as any bear could manage. Open water. He must find open water. The threat from the sky was drawing close. Men wanted his pelt. He knew. There was only one possible route to safety. If he reached a lead of water, they might leave him be. If their bullets lodged deep in his back as he swam, the ocean would take him, and they had lost. If they shot him down on solid ice, his pelt was theirs. Pew! The first shot landed a body length ahead, blowing up a wide corona of ice. Ingevar's momentum, sticky pages, took him straight through it. The shattering halo of bitter-sharp crystals cut into his shadowed, battled scar's snout, stinging his eyes and ripping at his gums. He snorted and veered away, but that was exactly what the men had intended. He knew it when he saw the ridges up ahead. They were turning him toward an uneven ground where his cover was better, but his run would falter. Water. He must find open water. The second shot grazed his ear. He veered again, this time into the pain and away from the snare of the glistening ridges. The scent of the ocean was strong in his nostrils. The ice beneath his paws was thinning. He could tell. There were noticeable shudders, and his footfall was ringing. Any bear worth his weight in seal knew how to judge the thickness of the surface. A few more strides, and he could rear and break through it. Swim below the crust if he needed to. The third shot thudded into his shoulder. The force of the impact slammed him to his knees. His front legs buckled underneath his belly, and he skidded forward with his chin against the ice, until his balance gave out and he fell, panting, onto his flank. There he lay, heat rising from his scissored jaws, claws extended and scrambling for a foothold, as if they had not yet given up hope. But it was over. Ingevar knew it. His senses were swimming. His leg was gone. Deep at the root of the angry red channel which the bullet had hacked through fur and muscle, the poison was spreading inside his lung. His eyes closed. In the air, he could still hear the buzz of the plane. It seemed quiet compared to the beat of his heart. His chest throbbed against the creaking ice. Blood pooled in the side of his mouth. Sickness claimed his seal-starved belly. The plane circled like an irritated skua. Why? What were they waiting for? Why didn't they close and shoot again? He opened his eyes. A wisp of fog streamed across his gaze. A mist was gathering. A mist? How? When the morning sun was bright overhead and there was no wind ripping through his fur, dizzily he rolled his head and scented. The air was moving in a quick white swirl. Snowflakes danced and kissed his shoulder. The blue sky turned by pieces to white. A blizzard had come from nowhere to cover him. He snorted with disbelief, and his claws pierced deep into the yielding ice to mirror the distress gouging through his heart. A blizzard. Too late. Just too late. He closed his eyes for a long time then. He woke to the sound of his labored breathing and the creaks and groans of the grating pack. The air was brittle with a hazy cold. Moonlight stroked the shifting ice. The burning pain had receded in his shoulder, but so too had all sensation of movement. He rolled over and tried to stand, but his ruined body was far from ready, and he crashed before he was halfway righted. Why do you hasten your death, fool? The voice sent a wave of fear through his head. Instinctively he growled, raising a bolt of agony in his chest. He lay back his head and quietly whined. "Be silent," said the voice. There was a harshness in it that bordered on cruel. Ingvar widened his arc of vision. Just ahead, along the axis of the lie of his snout, was another bear. It was sitting paws together as bears often did, tilting its head down, staring at him. It looked like a dumpy elderly female, and yet its scent was completely wrong. There was not a trace of the ocean about it, no sweat of motherhood in its fur, no rotting seal meat on its breath, and though it spoke in the everyday language of the Nanook, the words did not have the guttural rasp that would single out its territories or its origins. "What are you?" Ingvar said. The bear changed into an Arctic fox. This caused Ingvar to jerk again. A column of pain reared in his lung, forcing a splutter of blood from his mouth. He shuttered his claws and slowed his breathing. The fox, meanwhile, had circled to his side where it stopped and lifted a nonchalant paw, flexing it as though to test the range of movement. It flagged its grey-white tail and sat. "I know you," it said in Nanook again. Ingvar ground his teeth. Was this death? Was this the far side of the ice? He blinked and tried to concentrate. Through tight-slit vision he saw the fox yawn. "You were born into the line of Ragnar," it said. "One of the 9 which ruled this waste." Despite the suffering, Ingvar growled. How could this nun thing know about that? "Ah, that offends you, doesn't it, bear? Your ancestor was a fighting legend who took the lives of endless men. And here you lie, dying at their hand. How does it feel to be so useless?" Hearing this, the bear let out a terrible roar and pawed the ice in an effort to stand. But The noose of pain about his stricken shoulder tightened once more, and he fell back howling. The fox was quickly behind him then, leaning over, speaking into his ear. "I can save you," it said, seducing him with whispers. "Remember the blizzard that shielded you?" Eyes closed, Ingvar curled his lip. "That was my doing. One sweep of my—" Here it paused and tested its joints again. "Paw, I can heal you, take away the misery, send you back to gain your revenge." "What are you?" the son of Ragnar repeated. With a laughing snort, the fox turned into a black-eyed raven. It leaped aboard his shoulder and clenched its talons. "Move, and I'll take your eye out," it said. I think they made a grammar mistake here, because it says "move and I'll take your eye out." I think they meant "move or I'll take your eye out." I think. Anyway, give me 1 minute. Ingvar looked ahead. Oops. The wind was still circling, constantly shuffling the surface of the ice. This beast, this demon, whatever it was, had invaded a world he recognized as real. He had no choice but to trust that it could carry out its threat with ease. See, it is a threat. So I don't know why the sentence says "move and I'll take your eye out." It should have been "move or I'll take your eye out." But that's just me. Anyways. Help me, bear, and I will spare your life. Ingvar gave the slightest of nods. "You know of a place that men call Chamberlain?" The ice bear twitched its snout. What did the places of men mean to him? The bird responded with an angry squawk and poked his skull just above the eye. "On the north migratory route, I've seen your kind there, beggaring for food from the trash dumps and tips." Ingvar grunted. Now he knew. As a yearling, his mother had taken him there. "Good," said the raven, dribbling spittle. "There is a man there, nothing more than a boy. He has something I need, something precious. He wears it like a charm around his neck. It is a tooth, bear. Do you understand?" Ingvar's eye rolled slowly in his socket. "A bear's tooth," the bird said impatiently. The shape of the eye grew long and narrow. The only fabled tooth that Ingvar knew of was that which had fallen from his ancestor's mouth in the ancient times of wars against men. But that was sacred, and surely lost. All the same, he queried it. Ragnar tooth? Yes, you hopeless bucket of blubber. Deliver it to me, and you will walk again. Ingvar took a moment to think. What did this trickster want with a tooth that was a symbol of everything bears revered? And even were he able to reach the dump town, how would he know or draw close to the boy? Or steal the tooth, when hunters were everywhere? The raven read these doubts in his face. In Chamberlain, bears are protected, it said, and yet there was much resentment in these words that Ingvar knew this raven could never be trusted. But his curiosity was as strong as his instinct to survive. If he was going to walk again, he must, for now, heed the bird's will. He grunted to show he understood. Again the bird spoke. There is a girl in Chamberlain who travels with the boy. You will take her a sign from me. One touch of your paw will be enough. She will steal the tooth and hand it to you. You will hide it under your disgusting tongue, then find a way back to the open ice, where I will be waiting. Is that clear? Ingvar shook his head. You refuse? The pointed feathers on the raven's neck rose as it closed its talons in anger. Ingvar winced and juddered a leg. Nur, girl? Ingvar, how no? Ah, said the raven, and it hopped off his side and onto the ice, where it changed into the shape of a human woman. She was as old as the sky and nearly toothless, dressed in the furs of the Inuit natives. In one hand she held a broken bone. Before Ingvar could even narrow his gaze, she had brought the jagged end crushing down upon his head, bloodying his fur with 3 short scars. Ingvar roared and lashed out wildly, but caught nothing but air between his claws. The woman stepped back and called him a fool. Then she ordered him to stand. And Ingvar found he could. The blow, though savage, had drawn the fire from his injured limb and allowed a limping strength to return. The woman pointed the bone at the ice. A small segment melted, and water bubbled up out of the hole. Look down, she said. Ingvar bent and then recoiled instantly from his reflection. No! What had she done to him? The scars will fade by morning, said the woman. But she alone, the girl, will sense them and be drawn to you. She carries the mark of Umara on her arm. Touch her once. That is all you have to do. With it, your strength will return in full. Ingvar backed away, shaking his head. Boy, he queried. What of boy? The boy? The woman said, and at first she just sneered. Then her raven black eyes descended into evil. The boy is nothing. Kill him, she said. That's the second chapter now, and we have to go to. Sorry, I took a couple of sips of hot tea and I forgot that it was still hot. Oh boy. Second chapter. A letter home. When the mailbox rattled at number 42 Wayward Crescent, one of the two things tended to happen. Either Lucy Pennycettle would come rushing downstairs crying, "It's okay, I'm here, I'll get it," or a small green puffler dragon called Gawain would zip down the hall, pick up the mail, and fly quickly into the kitchen. That morning it was Bonington's turn. The Pennykettle's large brown tabby cat was stalking a spider that had scuttled behind the Swiss cheese plant in the corner of the hall when the letter from Manitoba, Canada, dropped through the box and landed neatly between his ears. Gawain was down the hall in a flash, only to discover that Bonington had pounced and pinned the letter hard to the carpet as though he had caught a falling leaf. "Arr," went Gawain from the lip of the plant pot, anxious to do his duty and transport the letter to the dragon's den where his mistress, Liz, was working that day. This did not impress Bonington much. He had never got to grips with dragon tongue. He merely twitched his whiskers and sat on the letter. It seemed the obvious thing to do. That was how Lucy found him 2 minutes later. By then Gawain had reported to the listening dragon on the top of the fridge. It in turn had sent a message to the guard dragon, Gawain, head of the household security, and he had heard in Lucy's ear. Down the stairs she had come. "Up," she said, scooping Bonington into her arms. Gawain zipped to the carpet and grabbed the letter between his jaws. "Show me," said Lucy. The dragon hovered mid-flight so she could read the postmark. And, of course, once she saw the Canadian postmark, great excitement followed. "Mom," she screeched, "we've got a letter from David." All around the house, dozens of dragon skills clattered and clacked as heads were turned and eye ridges were raised and tails were flicked in expectation. David Rain, the Pennykettle's absent tenant, had sent a message home from the land of snow and ice from the Arctic. Bonington, whose fragile half-bitten ear did not take well to the squeals of the average 11-year-old, hissed in protest and scrambled away. Lucy pounded up the stairs, Gawain flying at her shoulder. Breathlessly, she burst into the dragon's den, where Liz was wiping clean a paintbrush. "Mom, please, can I read it? Please?" "No," Liz said, whipping the note from Gawain's jaws. "David gave me alone the right to read his mail." And she took a silver dagger off her workbench and carefully sliced the envelope apart. Lucy plonked herself onto a stool. "It's got a picture of a big fat pigeon on the stamp." "I think that's a ptarmigan," Liz said knowledgeably, withdrawing 2 sheets of thin folded paper. "Shouldn't you be calling Gareth and Gazooks?" "Oh, yes." Lucy sat bolt upright and heard at Gawain, who set off straight away for David's room. Gareth, the large-pawed wishing dragon, passed him on the stairs. He found Gazooks, David's inspirational writing dragon, in his usual place on the windowsill in the tenant's room. "Arr," went Gawain, as politely as he could, for the writing dragon seemed deep in thought and might not take kindly to any interruption from a lowly puffler. Gazooks nodded to show he understood. He was busy using the tip of a claw to make a pattern of dots on the misty glass. Turning a page of his writing pad, he copied down the arrangement of the dots. A lower page of the pad fell open. It, too, was speckled with a similar pattern. It was none of Gawain's business, of course, to ask what the fabled dragon was doing, but it worried him to see a fellow being frowning the way Gazooks was now. So he bothered to ask, was everything all right? Gazooks tucked his pencil behind his ear and said he was puzzled by the movements of the stars. Gawain returned him a look of grey awe. He could see no stars in the morning sky, But who was he to doubt Gazooks? He blew a smoke ring and led the way upstairs. "About time," Lucy chided as Gawain settled neatly on her shoulder. Gazooks landed Gazooks landed by the potter's wheel. He glimpsed along the shelves of waiting dragons and settled his gaze on one in particular. Gretel, the headstrong potions dragon, had come to the front of the small wooden cage in which she had been imprisoned for the past 2 weeks. He looked at her anxiously, noting the bitterness clouding her eyes. It pained him to see her caged like this. Surely it was dangerous to breed resentment in a clever and powerful potions dragon, even if her quiver of flowers had been removed. He glanced at the near side of the bench. In a basket filled with tissues and straw lay the stationary figure of the stone dragon Grockle, the cause of Gretel's detention. Why was it wrong? Gazooks had often wondered. To take pity on a creature born without fire. Why should this dragon not be revived, as Gretel had only been trying to do? If his master, the David, was here today, would he approve of Gretel's punishment? And worse, if Zana, the mistress of Gretel, herself away in the Arctic lands, could see her dragon clutching at bars, what terrible outcomes might result? Pay attention, everyone. Here we go. Liz flicked the first page and started to read. Just give me a moment before I start reading the letter. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with my nose, but my nose is not doing well. So, anyway, let's do the letter. It's a pretty long letter, but it's alright. Dear Lucy and Liz, or Dear Liz and Lucy, Bonington and Dragons, how are you? How's the weather in Scrubbly? We're frying eggs on the sidewalk up here. How? Lucy queried, turning up her nose. I thought it was really cold in the Arctic. He's teasing, said Liz. Listen, he says so. I'm teasing, of course. There are no sidewalks in the Arctic. Okay, here's the truth. It's cold enough to freeze the feathers of a penguin. Not that you see any penguins here, but you get my gist. I have to sleep in socks and a woolly hat if I don't want frostbite on my extremities. What does that mean? Asked Lucy. His toes and ears, said Liz. She gave a quick cough and continued. Zana was moaning the other day because it was so cold her best black nail polish cracked. Oops, she just read that over my shoulder. Now she's giving me one of her gothic looks. I'll change the subject. We are having a fantastic time. The Polar Research Station is a bit basic, but we get by. The food is good. We eat warm. Thick oatmeal for breakfast every morning, and have steaks the size of Lucy's flip-flops for dinner. Yuck, moaned Lucy. Her mother read on. The base is a sprawling single-story building right on the edge of Hudson Bay. It's about 10 miles south of the town of Chamberlain, a place we are dying to visit. Polar bears come to Chamberlain sometimes. They congregate out on the scraggy tundra and raid the trash dumps. Imagine that. A squirrel in your garden is one thing, but a real-life polar bear? Wow. Dr. Bergstrom, our instructor, says we will fly out and see them soon. before the sea in the bay completely freezes over and the bears head north to hunt for seals. We would have done it a week ago, but he was called away to some important meeting, so we are stuck for the moment working in the lab. We spend our days analyzing ice samples. Some of them date back hundreds of years. Zana is checking for increases in toxic chemicals called PCBs, which can poison bears and other forms of wildlife. And I'm melting ice cores down and making the tea. Making interesting graphs to monitor the levels of something called beryllium-10. This is to do with global warming. Dr. Bergstrom thinks that changes in the levels of beryllium-10 coincide with an increase in sunspots or flares, which might be warming the Earth and making the polar ice cap melt. That's scary, especially for bears. Every year, the ice in Hudson Bay melts earlier but takes a little longer to refreeze. This means that bears are fasting more and will reach a point maybe in the next 50 years when they will not be able to survive their time ashore and will die of starvation out on the tundra. It's hard to believe that the natural world we take so much for granted is constantly under threat from climate change and that creatures like polar bears could so easily become extinct. No one here wants to see that happen. So we are busy searching for long-term answers, feeding the data into our computers to try to predict how long the polar ice will last. The weird thing is, the best model we've created, based on the sampled information we have, indicates that the Earth is about to enter a meteorological phase that mimics a period 4.5 billion years ago, when the planet was first created. There was a clink. Liz stopped reading. What was that? Gazooks has dropped his pencil, said Lucy. Guilan flew to the floor and retrieved it for him. The writing dragon heard in embarrassment and made gestures to Liz to carry on reading. He glanced lightly at Gretel, who tilted her head to look at his pad. Gazooks gathered it under his arm, keeping his star patterns carefully hidden. Gretel shuffled her scales, but didn't make a sound. She had not spoken now for several days. Liz read on. If I'm honest, the work is slightly boring, but we all feel proud to be doing something positive for the northern biome, as people tend to call it, or Gaia, the earth goddess, as Zana tells everyone, including our Inuit colleague, Tutega. He's a strange character. His face is as wrinkled as an old leather boot, and he smells of fish, and seal, and worse. He works, among other things, as a guide from Dr. Bergstrom, and says he will take me out on a sled and let me drive his dog team one day. Wow, went Lucy, very bright-eyed. Zana is totally miffed about this because he hasn't said he'll take her as well. Tutega and Zana don't get along. He seems to be a bit wary of her, probably because she never stops pestering him about Inuit mythology. She mentioned dragons the other day, and he gabbled some words in his native tongue, made a strange sign, and walked away. That's not very nice, said Lucy. No, Liz muttered, nor is this. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what this red spot is I've arrowed, it's a drop of Xana's blood. Lucy and a host of dragons leaned forward. Gretel raised her scales and sniffed. The scratch on her arm hasn't healed, said Liz, reading a few lines ahead. Lucy sat back, looking concerned. The scratch that Guilana made? The one that looked like the dribbles of ink on David's book contract? Yes, said Liz. She interchanged the pages, deep in thought. Gretel ran her claws down the bars of her cage. Gareth, on the windowsill, shuddered uncomfortably. He goes on to say that the other students in their party are all doing fine, and that Zana and one of the other girls are making eyes at a handsome helicopter pilot named Russ. She's David's girlfriend. She can't do that. I'm not worried, he writes, because she tells me she loves me about 10 times a day. In front of anyone who'll listen, she hasn't changed much. She says hi to you all, and please will someone give Gretel a hug, because she misses her and wonders if she's feeling okay. Xana's been having trouble sleeping. When she wakes, Gretel is always on her mind. Oh, said Lucy, glancing at the cage. Do you think she knows? Her face began to redden. I doubt it, said Liz. She's not attuned enough yet. Not yet. Oh, fucking hell. She's not attuned enough yet. But Gretel's giving out a powerful Oma. And for those who don't know what Oma means, it means aura. Just for those who are just joining in, listening in. It would be strange if Xana wasn't picking up anything, or something. Lucy bit her lip. What are we going to do when she comes home, Mom? Tell her the truth. That Grockle will suffer if he's brought into this world, and therefore Gretel had to be restrained. She understands that, don't you, Gretel? Gretel pulled back into the shadow so that no one could see her violet eyes blazing. Last paragraph, said Liz. Please give Gazooks a tickle as well. I haven't heard from him in ages. I hope his pencil hasn't gone blunt. I've been writing a bit of my Arctic saga, but it's not coming out quite the way I predicted. I suppose I shouldn't expect too much when my inspirational dragon is thousands of miles away. Oh well, another 3 weeks and I'll be there to wipe the mist off the window pane for him. Okay, we're going outside to watch the sunset now. This is one of the highlights of our day. It's beautiful to see the inlets and the waterways turning a deep, dark orange, and to listen to the geese as they flap across the bay. If my camera battery lasts, they turn gooey in the cold, I'll be bringing you lots of pictures. The other night, Xana and I took a walk around the base of our thermal clothing, watching the northern stars coming out. You wouldn't believe how clear they are up here. They look like sparkling Christmas ornaments. You want to reach out and pluck them and put them in your pocket. That's how close they seem. There's one that's low and beautifully yellow. I don't know what it's called. I'll ask Dr. Bergstrom when he comes back. But every time I look at it, I feel as though it's lighting up a candle in my heart. I love this place. I could stay here forever, but I'd miss you all too much, and that would never do. Oops, I've gone all sentimental. On that note, I'll go. Love to everyone. See you soon, David XXX. P.S. P.P.S. If my money has arrived from Appletree, please will you deposit the check for me? Liz folded the letter and put it back into the envelope. Well, he seems happy enough. I'm going to write back now, Lucy chirped. Good idea. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. I won't say about Gretel. No, I wouldn't. What should I say about his money for Snigger? Oddly, Liz seemed flustered by this. She pushed her red hair behind one ear and put the letter from David away in a drawer. Well, nothing. It hasn't come yet. Okay, said Lucy with a breezy shrug. I'll say it might arrive by the time he reads my letter. All right, Liz agreed. But in his heart she knew that the money would not come. How could it? When the publishing contract David had signed and she had promised a mill on his behalf was hidden in her drawer, along with the letter he had just sent home, and the one from his editor, Dillis Watton. And that's going to chapter 3 now, guys. Are you guys actually enjoying the chapters of this book? I know some people are a bit confused about the first book, where it's supposed to be a story about dragons, but then we were all concentrated on a squirrel named Snigger. And now, in the second book, we got confused because there were so many polar bears and other characters involved into the story. So, are you guys enjoying the story? Because I've been enjoying the story quite a bit, and I feel saddened that I have not read it way before when I purchased them. So give me a minute. I'm just making sure that I can cough and take a drink and whatnot. So Give me 1 minute. Actually, guys, I will be doing a quick, very, very quick intermission because I need to go to the little room. So I'll be right back.
Up it. Really?
Yes, really. Go, Petey, go!
You see, firework things get stuck in the ground. Alright. Oh. I give up. Oh.
The present.
Oh no!
I saw somebody vent, but I didn't catch the color.
I
You
don't know.
literally caught me.
You
just as
little
I
fuck!
entered the
I knew it was somebody. God. I was like, wait a minute.
Ah, there we
I
go.
thought you had caught me. That's why I went and found you and followed you.
I know I was scared when you started chasing me. I'm like, somebody saw me see them vent, and I know they're gonna want to find me. That's why I stuck with Mona. I was like, someone's coming for me.
I was so scared, Mark. I'm like, no.
Oh, you little fuck.
You want to know the best imposter game I ever had? It was a public lobby. I didn't kill a single person. They just all started accusing each other of venting, and I didn't have to kill a single person, and they all voted each other out.
Wild.
Amazing.
Beautiful. It was great.
I'm sorry you died so early, Luna. That was fucked up and evil.
Son of a bitch.
Say that to Luna, not poor Red who keeps dying.
I mean,
Poor Red.
Red and Luna are like the first bodies every round.
Bitch. I think I broke the game.
Wait, no.
Hey!
Ow, ow, ow. Ow.
Get the fuck off of the people.
I love I'm getting bullied by this game. Spinning circle.
Hi, Sokka.
Hiccups, Red.
Again.
Again.
Oh no! Oh
When
no!
are you eating those bar patrons too quickly? I'll take that as a yes.
It can be really confusing.
Yeah, if you've never played, just
You're
go
not
to
used to
Skeld.
it. Yeah.
Where do I, what,
Okay, so when you when you go online, you host and create a game, and then you can select everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have everybody?
No, I'm not there. How do I get there?
Where's this?
Oh right.
Where's his head? Lark.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Hold on. I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. I'll fix it.
I
Don't
thought
worry.
it was my headpats. I'm like, what? What?
You okay
you
here,
go.
Lark?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm fine.
Squish, 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 squish.
How do I
Lark's
join?
gonna have a concussion.
PD has to generate a code first. I don't think PD's generated the code yet.
Lark is just having fun with his hand for right now. Hang on.
I've got a knife.
There you go.
Oh, that's a good
Oh wait, I
D&D.
should have given my bean a knife.
I'm innocent, I swear.
Wait, am I supposed to be in here? I am.
Oh, for real?
Crewmate.
Right off
More
the
like
bat?
crew. Wait.
This is an experienced imposter. I'm calling it now. Oh, it's Lark.
What? Hey!
Don't say that, I'm in the room with him.
So,
Dug a bone.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like
Oh.
that.
Right.
let me
Nah, bro.
Using a laptop.
I don't like this. What are the doors shutting? I'm scared.
Uh-oh.
He's going
I
crazy.
agree. He's fucking
He's going
freestyle.
wild.
Why did you call me
wee-woo.
carnage?
I don't know.
What happened? What are you? Okay.
I saw somebody fucking
angry
move into
royalties
another.
stick
Yeah, she was wee-wooing after she was
On
running.
PD's debut.
How
Who the
On
fuck
her
is so
birthday
cool?
debut, dog.
Oh
Who
my
did
When I was
God.
eating cake for her.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Okay.
No, that statement just sounded so wrong.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm here for your comfort and enjoyment. No, no.
Relaxing streams. Shut this again. Just because the stream is 18
content?
plus doesn't mean everything is 18 plus.
I'm not
Stop
taking
making
Somebody call
everything.
security.
Wait, I am
There
security.
needs to be a
Wait, I am
timeout.
security.
We'll,
Hold
ne-
up.
we'll need
Yeah,
your
you
security
are
from your
Friday.
prison there, Lark.
What? Huh? No. What? I didn't even tell them I stopped streaming yet. Don't call security. Leave it alone.
Oh, good.
Oh,
I'm legit crying right now.
me too.
I'm shaking.
Many bowls of noodle soup could you make from that? Not
Oh
enough to
my
feed me.
god.
So doing the calculation lost. How much meat do you need to put in one soup from a 1 kilometer long danger noodle?
Oh my god, Petey.
The more the better.
That's not helping.
I mean, there is a lot of meat, you know?
Oh no. Red is actually regretting the fact that he invited us to the stream.
He's like, how do you kill those guys? Holy fuck.
What type of meat lost? We're just talking about sushi!
Right. No.
Alright, PD, you have to make this.
Oh
So I
my
can't
god.
carry the
Oh
both
my
of you. My character is dying.
Wait, swing me. Toss me. Just don't tell the elf.
Damn it.
I just got.
Damn, Red, I didn't realize you were that well hung.
PD. No, give up.
Help!
If only if somebody did put me in fan art right now.
But he should be fine. He'll notice me, probably roar at me, and then he'll wander off. See? You're just wandering. I can probably walk next to him. I think it's usually Toby that I walk next to. See? Walking with him. Scratching himself. You're gonna roar at me again, aren't you? Son of a bitch!
What?
You're proving me wrong, bitch!
Are you actually fighting him now?
He decided to be a dickhead. So yes.
This is why I wouldn't want to walk beside him.
I know, but Odie, okay, Odie is usually aggressive.
Wait, who the fuck is all the way? I'm about to lap you, Sushi. You better move. You get those legs down.
Yeah. Wait, who the hell's all ahead of me? You better move, Sushi!
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to have sushi anymore.
I think he ate too much sushi.
Yeah, I think Lark missed it.
Yeah, Lark missed it.
Run.
Yeah.
Use those little legs,
definitely
Eggman. Use those little legs. What happened to your sushi? What happened? I'm coming for you.
I've got an egg and incubator.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
The moment when he kicks you into the volcano. Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm pregnant. I'm having a child. Oh no.
Huh?
I'm so scared.
can see Jello actually buying a horse like Moo.
Yes.
Oh!
No!
I think there's something wrong with Moo! On my stream! I think there's something wrong with Moo in the stream.
Just in general, there's something wrong with Moo. Is it because I named you Moo? Is that what you're...
Give me a minute. I'm giving Celine some water, honey.
Who you calling?
It's okay, sweet pea. Take your time.
By all means, darling, don't you threaten me with a good time.
I'll be your huckleberry.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm crying.
I've been crying. I've been crying for the last 30 minutes.
I mean, I know I'm good at breaking ladies' hearts, but come on now, y'all.
Disappear from security!
Whoop. Uh-oh.
What? No.
I saw it on the monitors. I saw 3 people and then one person just disappeared. So either someone's dead or someone just vented from there.
You do realize that as soon as they step up to security's door, it takes them off of security, right, Momo?
Wait,
Son
what?
of a bitch!
Yeah, as soon as somebody steps out the door, like, are you watching admin right now?
Oh, thank fuck. Okay.
No, I'm not right now.
I
I'm
am
not.
leaving electrical.
That's what I'm trying to do right quick. Go on admin right quick.
That part
I'm
of
down here.
Zervik, I'm looking forward to this trip. Let's head back. Let's head out. You wanna recap, Jello?
Okay, so basically, I found it really cute because in the story, a druid falls in love with one of the soul riders. Like, he has a bit of a crush and it's really adorable. But they can't be together because obviously druid and soul rider. And Petey was like, I was just like, it's just so cute, but they can't be together. It's so sad. And then he was like, Petey was like, yeah, like a wolf and a dragon.
Wow.
It's true.
This chocolate brownie doesn't have any chocolate chips on it.
What? Brownie without chocolate chips?
It's just smooth. Honestly, I would be an amazing ruler of the world.
I mean, you
I
are.
would just smack the shit out of everybody.
I mean, you are from the Winter's Realm.
Yeah, exactly. And no one's died. Well, technically, everyone's technically already dead. But like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
but not technically. Remember, because like human living things fall in, but it's also like spirits as well. So I've managed to keep living things alive in this world. So.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That's
and
gotta count.
as you say, for your comfort and entertainment, and Jason took it on the wrong train. He took it on the wrong train.
Everything I say, he makes sound weird and lewd.
Right.
Okay.
These bodies could have been there for a while. There's 3 people dead.
So they haven't enough time to kill multiple times.
Can I just say how somebody might have a grudge against Red because he's been dying 3 times already?
Who ran, all right, real quick, before time's out, who ran right at the start of the game? Who ran right? Raise your hand.
Me.
Right?
I went left.
Left.
I went to electrical at the start.
Okay, so I've got eyes on Havoc then, because a body died very early.
Parlinex tried to keep him caged so he doesn't get killed.
I didn't vote. Fuck.
That's a good idea, Parlinex. Cage Red so he doesn't die.
Protect Red. Everyone just circle around Red to protect him.
Interesting.
Who else?
Map. How do I understand the map? How shall we trade? I think you'll like some of my herbs. Bless you! Can you give me advice on growing herbs in my garden? Bless you! Don't you know? Bless you! Don't you know why every... Bless you!
Jello, tag. You're right.
Bitch! Okay, wait, let me pull up my script because I'm stupid.
Script? Wait, remember to rehearse?
I love that.
I told you I'm stupid. Okay, wait.
Hey, at least she wants to do it.
My name is Wolfwind. I am a shapeshifter, guardian of the spirits, and deity of nature. I sound nervous. Why? I am here for your. I am here for your. I can't read. Why did I write a script? I am here for your comfort and enjoyment, as it's my duty to care for all walks of life, even the afterlife.
No, that's statement.
Wait, hang on. It's on the test.
Lower left corner.
This ship is weird. Sorry, this ship is really weird. Like, how do you have like a huge cafeteria, but like?
How does this thing fly? Like, how?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, we're hungry.
We're hungry.
We're hungry, baby.
We're hungry. Storage, jack shit, but the cafeteria, now that needs to be big.
Yeah. Where the fuck do we even sleep on this ship?
Oh yeah.
Cafeteria.
Oh, that's
Cafeteria or
You
storage?
just sleep under the tables. Nah, you sleep under the
we
tables
just
in
pull
cafeteria.
out sleeping bags and it's a slumber party in
But
there.
wait,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be the med bay though? Because there's beds there.
I think we
That's
sleep
true.
outside of the ship.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're so right. Alright.
Hey,
Just
we're not
kind of
figuring
like
out who killed who, but
I was on the
yeah.
I have no idea. How many people are still there?
I don't know, but they're coming. They're gonna be.
And Lark, did you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Lark. I hate everybody here, and that's all you need to know about me.
Oh, we can
Finally.
change that.
Oh no,
Someone who speaks their mind.
I'm aware of what your old fandom is.
Lark. Don't worry about it, Lark. You'll love us all by the end of it.
That's fair.
I don't think he knows how to love, or he
That's
refuses
not true.
to.
I love meat.
Well, that's true.
He also loves food.
Hey, if you guys would like later.
Yes. Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Anyway, we're going into the next chapter. I'm gonna see if I can read this chapter, and which is a few pages. Oh, I can actually do two chapters, I think. I'm so sorry if I'm not myself today. I've just not been feeling well, especially with my throat and my voice. So I do hope you guys enjoy the stories anyways. Hope you guys got something to eat, hope you guys had something to drink. I'm sipping on my last cup of tea before I have to fast diet. The reason why I need to do fast diet is because I have to do a glucose tolerance test tomorrow morning, so I cannot stay up too long, and I cannot drink anything after my tea. Well, I can have sips of water, but in honesty, I'm not allowed to eat or drink after, in about 40 minutes from now. So let's read this two chapters, and then we probably will call it a night for today, and then tomorrow I'll be playing God of War. So if I feel a little bit drowsy, if I feel a bit it's because of they'll be taking blood from me tomorrow to do some testing. So just to let you guys know what's happening tomorrow. Anyways, A Strange Companion is the next chapter, is the third chapter, I believe. He had been walking alone for 6 whole days when the old bear came to join him. Ingvar had paused to slake his thirst when the air behind him rippled with the clammy scents of another meal. Lazily, he turned his head. There was rarely any sense of impeding threat to an adult bear of his size and age, and though his foreleg was wounded, his nose was still sharp. The scent would be coming from many paces back, or so he thought. As he turned, he immediately saw that the animal was half as close as he expected, almost as if it had landed from the sky. He swung around to face it, taking care not to show any hint of pain or impair movement. But the old bear displayed no signs of aggression, and continued to pad belatedly forward, following Ingevar's tracks in the snow. To the younger bear's amazement, it stopped within easy reach of a charge. Then it too bent down and slaked its thirst. "You have walked a long way," it said, snow falling out of the side of its mouth. Ingevar squinted darkly at the bear and raised his head in a threatening stance. After what he had seen 6 days before, he was not prepared to take risks with strangers. "Move on," he growled, and flicked his snout in a bearing south of his chosen tracks. The old bear dipped its head in to acknowledge Ingevar's physical dominance. Then it grunted and ate more snow. Why would I want to walk that way when it would bring me into the clutches of men? This, of course, made Ingevar twitch. It was many years since he had visited the dump town, and his pathway there was admittedly unclear. And now here was this pot-bellied, straggled-haired lump giving him rough directions to it. He stood, paralyzed by indecision. If this bear was right, how could he think of changing course without invoking meddlesome questions? The old bear settled down, tucking its hind paws under its belly. It yawned and turned a paw, raking its tongue between the outstretched claws. "You seem confused, Nanook." Ingevar ground his teeth. This visitor was bold. He had to give it that. He had not been spoken to as Nanook in years. Although it was a word which described old bears, it was only ever used when an adult spoke down to a younger one, usually in a scornful manner. This bear had used it in a friendlier sense, and that made Ingevar strangely unsettled. "Why were you following me?" he asked, letting the words rumble out of his throat. "I was curious," the old one said. "The pattern of your tracks suggests you were limping. Now I see your wounds and I understand why. What I don't understand, when the sea ice is freezing and the seal grounds will soon be full, is why a bear so strong in tooth and claw is heading toward land, when every other bear will be eager to leave it." "Who are you?" said Ingevar, swiping the ice, his ego now as ruffled as the fur on his back. The old bear continued to groom in peace. "My name is Thoran," he said. Ingevar turned his snout away and gave a swift, derisive snort. He might have guessed this bear would carry the name of the first white bear to walk the ice. Some mothers would never understand the ridicule they put their offspring through. He swung his head again, north this time. "Move on, old bear. Go to the seal grounds while you still have the strength to catch one." Thorin shook his head and yawned. "I am tired. We should rest a while." "We?" Ingevar burrowed his chest. "There is a blizzard approaching. What point would there be in battling the wind on 3 good legs and a scratching limp? If you have sense as well as strength, you will lay your injured shoulder against me and let me protect you from the cold." "Blizzard?" Ingevar pricked his ears. From the north came the faint but definite whistle of an angry wind. Not only that, a few loose crystals were racing across the surface of the ice. The visitor was right. A blizzard was coming. Ingevar blew a throaty sigh and forced his canines into his lip. Once again, this heap of old fur had surprised him. "Why?" he said to Thoran. "Why would you protect me?" Thoran laid his head down flat. In Ragnar's time, bears thought nothing of sleeping in packs. "You are a son of Ragnar, are you not?" Ingevar narrowed his gaze. "Lie down, Nanook. You need to rest. The wind moaned and clipped the tips of Ingavar's ears. What could he do but give in and accept the older bear's wisdom? Blowing the pride from his overworked lungs, he buckled his knees and let himself flop, pressing his injured, aching shoulder into Thoran's warm, dry flank. And as the grazing edge of the blizzard came upon them, and the snowflakes began to number and stick, he drew himself into a bulging heap, and pushed his long snout deep into the pit between Thoran's open foreleg and belly. He was exhausted, and had no wish to speak, but as his eyes grew heavy with the prospect of sleep, he used his throat to rasp 4 words. "My name is Ingavar," he said, and then he slept. Lucy writes back. True to her word, on the same day that David's letter arrived, Lucy sat down at the kitchen table and spent the next few hours penning? Yeah, I think so. It is such a awful word, penning a reply. There was much sighing and clucking and frantic crossing outs, coupled with balls of crumpled paper flying hither and thither around the room. Bonington had to pour one out of his dinner bowl. Liz closed the washing machine door on another. Lucy's white tulle ankle socks came out a shade of grey as a result. And the listening dragon on top of the fridge narrowly escaped being clouted by a bundle that also contained a lot of pencil shavings. Lucy liked to write her letters out in pencil first. But eventually she settled with a bright blue pen and a notepad with a picture of 2 red squirrels. In her neatest, most confident handwriting she put, "This is Hermione. Her friend's name is Crispin. They are the king and queen of the pine forest. They used to be grey, and nobody liked them until a magic owl turned them red. I think you could do a good story about them." Then she got on with the proper business of reporting all the news from Wayward Crescent. She mentioned first how quiet things were, mainly due to the fact that their annoying neighbour, Mr. Bacon, had decided to go on a 3-week cruise to somewhere called the Gulf of Mexico. He says, "He will bring me some jumping beans," she wrote, "but I would rather have a stick of rock from you. I told Mom you promised to bring home some rock with Arctic written all the way through it. Do not let me down." And so it went on. By mid-afternoon she was starting to the 4th and last quarter of the notepad when Liz announced she was going shopping, and did Lucy want to come. Lucy was deeply engrossed in telling David about the colours of the trees in the library gardens, and how she had gathered a variety of leaves and pressed them in her copy of Snigger and the Nut Beast. And here was a small horse chestnut leaf she had found right over Conker's grave, which she was sending to him to remind him of Scrubbly. No, she didn't want to go shopping, thank you, but was it okay if she ran to the post office just up the road and delivered her letter before they closed? Liz said she could, as long as she was careful and came straight back. Oh, and would she mail the letters on the bench in the den? Lucy finished off by writing, "Gazooks is missing you lots, but not enough to shed his fire tear. Don't worry. He's making drawings of stars. Gwilon says. Isn't that funny? You talking about stars and him drawing them. I will go and have a look at his pad when I have done this. I will tickle his scales until he goes tee-hee-hee like you do when you laugh. Have you told Xana you do that? He does, Xana, honest. It's very embarrassing. He snores, too. I have to run now, or I will miss the mail. Oh, I nearly forgot. Your money hasn't come, and Mom says Gretel is..." She paused to chew her pen and think. What could she say, truthfully, about Gretel? Bending her head again, she wrote, "Pining for Xana, but we are keeping an eye on her. I think it will be good when you both come home. Please send another letter if you have time. Lots of love from Lucy, XXX." "Now I need his address," she said to Gwilon. "Fly upstairs and get the letter, will you?" "Hrrr," went Gwilon, shaking his head. The letter, he reminded her, was put into a drawer. Gareth or Gruffin might be able to open it, but not a little puffler dragon like him. Lucy tapped his snout. Okay, I'll go. In the dragon's den, she picked up 2 letters her mother had left by the pottery turntable, then opened the workbench drawer. At first, she didn't notice the large brown envelope underneath the white one, franked with a picture of Apple Tree's famous award-winning character, Kevin the Karaoke Kangaroo. But as she grabbed David's letter and went to close the drawer, a dragon's voice rumbled and she hesitated and turned. It was Gretel, holding tight to the bars of the cage. Lucy went over and crouched beside it. You know I can't let you out. Gretel shook her head. She said. Lucy frowned. What do you mean you know why Gazooks is unhappy? Gretel rolled her eyes toward the drawer. The guard dragon, Gruffin, fluttered back there to investigate. Scotch tape, scissors, and some envelopes, he heard. I know. I've just seen them, Lucy said. Said Gretel, meaning she hadn't seen everything. So Lucy went back and had a proper look, and that was how she discovered the stamped and sealed envelope addressed to Dillis Wotton, Apple Tree Publishing. That's David's contract, she muttered. Mum's forgotten to mail it. That's why he hasn't gotten his money yet. Gretel said, crossing her paws behind her back, as if she had done the house a great service. Lucy said, Does Zuki know? Zuki is a nickname for Gazooks, by the way, guys. Gretel raised her shoulders. Lucy hummed and dented her chin with a finger. Perhaps he sensed it, and that's why he can't properly write things for David. Gretel gave her a wide-eyed look. I still can't let you out, said Lucy, feeling an awful pang of guilt as Gretel dropped her wings and shuffled out of sight. I've got to hurry, Lucy told herself, glancing at the clock. And without ever thinking that her mother might have had a very good reason for keeping the contract hidden from the world, she put on her hat and coat and gloves and hurried to the post office to have her letter weighed. Then she put all the letters in the mailbox. And that was when the trouble began. Right, so... Hi, Parallax. A Sign in the Sky. That's the next chapter. When Ingvar woke, the moon was out and he was coated with a shallow crust of ice. Thoran had already risen and was sitting not far away, staring fast into the dome of the night. It is time, he said, without turning his head. For what? Said Ingvar. He raised himself clumsily and shook away the snow. Thoran began to walk. Hey, where are you going? Come back! Ingvar's voice was suddenly taut with a mixture of anxiety and irritation. Thoran had moved off along the route he claimed would lead to Chamberlain, the dump town. Ragnar was never one for stars, he said. He was guided by impulse, and that was his downfall. I pray that you and I will be more fortunate. Ingvar ran on ahead and turned. He walloped the ice, forcing the old bear to stop and sit. Go back, Thoran. We are not together. Thoran looked deep into the younger bear's eyes. I am following a sign, he said. It seems it may take me into those territories overrun with men, if that is your intention too, son of Ragnar. You may do well to keep me at your side. Men fear bears, that you know, and what they fear they sometimes kill. In the dump town, they will be tolerant of us. I am old and easily pitied, but any men with knowledge of the ancient legends might not be so generous to a bear with the mark of Omara in his head. At this, Ingvar started wildly. He swept away, looking for a mirror for water. The lying, sniveling, cheating raven had said that none but the girl would see the mark. Thoran continued on his way. Do not vex yourself, he called. The scars are only clear to those like me who can read them in your Oma. Oma? Ingvar had heard this word, but knew nothing whatsoever of its meaning. Once again, he loped on ahead, shuffling backward to make sure Thorin had to face him. You talk in many riddles, old bear. The path to wisdom is not always straight, said Thoran. Ingvar blew a cloud of vapor. What is Orma? Your spirit, the fire inside you. There you go. There's a thorough explanation of what Orma is. Ingvar narrowed his eyes in confusion. He had never been one to talk of spirits. What he couldn't hit he was wary of. You said you were following a sign. What did you mean by that? Without breaking the rhythm of his stride, Thorin said, Look up, Nanook. What do you see? Ingvar glanced at the widely spaced dots. Stars? He grunted. Can you read them? Do you use them to find your way? Ingvar snorted low between his paws. No, a true son of Ragnar then. And what are you, a teller's cub? A dainty son of Laurel? Thorin, if he was angered by this, did not growl or stoop to show it. Instead he said chillingly, One day, Ingvar, you will know. Look between the 3 stars that point down like a snout, and a cluster just to the right of them. What do you see? Frustrated, Ingvar turned and squinted. Had no one ever told this waddling fool that bears use their noses, not their eyes, for distance? Nonetheless, he singled out a pulsing yellow star. Good, said Thorin. That is the sign. Watch it carefully. Let its Orma join with yours. It has fire? Asked Ingvar, who had never thought that stars were anything more than the eyes of his ancestors watching over him. It is fire, Thorin replied. All of them are, but the one that I am following is special. It has not appeared for many, many turns of the ice. Curious now, Ingvar walked a few paces ahead, as if he would like to put out his tongue and swallow the star up whole like a snowflake. How do you know this? Are you a teller? Of a kind, said Thorin. More riddles. Ingvar shook his fur. Then, what does this fire star mean for us? Thorin slowed down and padded to a halt, raising his gaze in reverence to the sky. You and I, and all that we are, came from the center of these lights, Nanook. And while Ingvar continued to stare and wonder, Thorin let his Orma join with the fire star. His claws reached deep into the pure white ice, as if he was searching for a long-forgotten memory. Into his mind came thoughts of an island far away where a giant creature lay sleeping in stone. Gawain, he whispered alone to the sky. It may have been a trick of the changing moonlight, but his forehead was suddenly ablaze with fire, and 3 deep scars that men and bears called the mark of Amara were alive, then gone, in the blink of the night. Alright, guys. So we managed to read about 6 chapters today. In about 2 hours. 5 chapters. Unfortunately for me, I will have to end the stream here because my voice is really giving up now. And not only that, I also have to go to bed early because of the GTT test tomorrow. Again, for those who don't know what it is, in medical terms, it's a glucose tolerance test. So I will have to attend that because I was a bit too late. So basically what happened was I was hunting. That was the last time I was hunting with this hunting group. I came back, I returned home into the cave to drop off the necessary tools and whatnot at home. And flying around the village is frowned upon here. So I asked if there was anybody who could transport me to the human hospital, and unfortunately nobody was available. So I had to reschedule this human like blood test thing appointment to the new year, so I will have to do that tomorrow. So I have less than 30 minutes to finish this tea, and then no more drink or food from me for the until tomorrow morning. So, which is really bad, because for those who have not done any GTT or glucose tolerance tests, it's basically fast dieting, which means that for about 8 to 10 hours or 12 hours, depending when your schedule is, you're not allowed to eat, you're not allowed to drink. It's just to, the best way to explain it is to put your blood at a base level, so that when they give you this small little cup of sugary drink, they can calculate how your blood reacts to the sugary content that you are consuming after a long time of not consuming any other foods or drinks that can affect the result. It's to test if you have diabetes or not. So yeah, there's a little insight in medical terms. If I have any information wrong, please do educate yourselves by researching GTT or glucose tolerance test to find the correct facts. Because I'm just giving you guys a summary of what's basically going to be happening tomorrow. But anyways, guys, I will be doing God of War tomorrow for the very first time. Actually entering into the universe, playing the actual game. Not the God of War 1, 2, or 3. It's God of War 4, where Kratos has moved to a Norse world. So I'm looking forward to the adventures. I will be a little bit dizzy. Will probably be a little bit lack of energy like today, because of the amount of blood that I will have to give tomorrow. So, let's see if Ashen is here. If Ashen is here, could you find somebody to raid? Unless I can find somebody who's willing to be raided. I will go to the ending screen now. Oh god, if I know how things work. Press that again. Whew. So yeah, I do apologize, guys, if I couldn't do any voiceovers, if I couldn't do any sort of voices for any of the characters. Hopefully my voice can get better over time. Let's see, who could we raid? So we've got Be Swiss, This Dragon, Chaos, Blue Moo, Berwin, or Purity. Oh, none of the big streamers that I'm following are live right now. So what I'm probably gonna do is we are going to raid. Who have we not raided yet? Who we have not raided yet, as of yet. We'll raid this dragon today. A fellow dragon who's playing World of Warframe. I don't think I have raided them for a while. So, we are going to do raid this dragon. We'll start with a raid message saying Firestar raid. So if you're a follower, either for my or this dragon, please use this. And then for subscribers, please use this. For my emote, Firestar raid. There we go. Just doing that very quickly. There you go. So make sure you give those in the chat when you can. Hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow in God of War stream. Please, if you are there tomorrow, please no spoilers. Please don't tell me how to play the game. Let me experience the game for myself. I have watched people play the game, like Jacksepticeye and all those things, so I know what tends to happen. but I want to experience the gameplay for myself. So no backseat gaming for tomorrow. But anyways, guys, give this dragon lots of love and support, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's stream. Love you all, and bye bye.